Hello, here's Fernanda Paiva, Hitchhiking Stars, bringing you some insights about the lunations. And we have a very powerful one coming our way. So let's talk about the solar eclipse, the new moon solar eclipse that's happening on the 8th of April. We're already feeling the energy. We're right in the middle of eclipse season. And eclipse seasons are really about big transformations and is stepping a little closer to the life that we're meant to be living and potentially the life that we want to live if we are aligned with our intuition and our higher self and all. So there is a kind of an alignment there between what we need to do and what we're meant to be doing as well. So, and what we want to be doing as well. So this solar eclipse is bringing us a little bit of an opportunity there to go further in this path and to really let go of some baggages, to really step into a sense of a new beginning. Because as a new moon, a solar eclipse is always a new moon. It has a connection of a very, very powerful new beginning. New moons are connected with sowing, putting down the seeds and starting something new. So that's definitely part of this solar eclipse. But there is more to it. So before we look into the chart, which is quite impressive, really, there's this huge cluster of planets all together on one side of the chart. Before we look at that, the solar eclipses, they do tend to bring situations, whereas the lunar eclipse, the full moon lunar eclipse, tends to be more of an emotional event. It's a full moon. It does stir a lot of emotions. The solar eclipse tends to really bring a situation, a new situation into our lives, something that's really connected to life around us and what's happening to us or around us or in a situation. There is something a little bit more clear about the sense of newness and the sense of new beginning. Not always, but there is a tendency. So with that said, let's have a look at the chart and let's have a look at the Sabian symbol as well. So this solar eclipse will be happening at 19 degrees Aries. So 19 degrees Aries. So if you have anything around 19 degrees, it could be 15 as well. So I would say between 15 and 21 degrees of the cardinal signs. So that would be Capricorn, Aries, Libra, or Cancer. Then this new moon will be particularly powerful for you. Remember, with astrology, it's always a bit of a detective work. So you want to find out what that planet means to you in your chart. So if this solar eclipse is happening near your birthday, then it will definitely be activating your sun. And the sun is all about personal self-expression, identity, who you are in the world. And so there's definitely a new beginning in this area of self-expression for you. So finding out to link that this new moon eclipse to your chart will be very handy, very important. So the second thing that's definitely really impressive and really catching my eye immediately is the fact that this new moon eclipse is happening with Chiron. So Chiron is at 19 degrees Aries as well. So we have a very powerful triple conjunction. And obviously it's a solar eclipse, as I mentioned already. So there's something really important and really, really powerful here, okay, with this Chiron. And remember, Chiron will be reflective of wounds, where we've been wounded, our pain, our sense of suffering as well. Chiron has a relation to human suffering, to the archetypal experience of human suffering. And so this new moon could be us becoming more aware of it, us healing as well, because being aware of the suffering is the first step to heal as well. Being aware of the wounds is how we know that we need to tend to them. So pain in our physical body is very clear that the pain is actually pointing to something, is actually giving us a warning, right? So if you have a nail stuck on your foot and you suddenly feel this sharp pain, you're going to realize that something is stuck on your foot and that it isn't okay, that you need to look at that and that you need to stop walking and pay attention to it. Well, with karma, it's going to be the same. And with emotional wounds or spiritual wounds, they're going to be very similar. It's something that we need to tend to, that we need to stop just treading ahead, sit down, have a look, go inwards a little bit. That's another thing about new moons. It's a time of rest, usually. It's a time for setting intentions for new beginnings, but the new beginning hasn't happened yet. It isn't really about taking steps and going out into the world, but going inwards. We have a little bit of this, we have this opportunity to go inwards a little bit. I think this is one of the things that I love about astrology the most, is this sense of alignment with cycles and the ability to relax, even though sometimes it's still hard for this Virgo here. It is a good reminder to say, hey, life happens in cycles, and we don't need to be out there conquering the world constantly. So that's one of the things. We can tend to our wounds, we can look within, we can go inwards a little bit more. Now, Mercury is also retrograde, so that's another energy for this lunar eclipse that's telling us, hey, take a deep breath. Do not rush into anything. Do not rush into communicating anything, even if it's about boundaries, which could very possibly be with, the amount of Aries that we have in the sky. But hold on. Go inwards with this energy. Write down, journal, get clarity around what boundaries you need to set. Because this Mercury is still going retrograde, and it's you might change your mind, you might see it from another perspective, or something else might happen that might change the situation. So it's another energy telling us that even though it's Aries, and Aries is fire, cardinal, is extroverted energy, etc., the position of the planets, the fact that it's a new moon, the fact that it's connected with Chiron and Mercury retrograde is telling us, hey, this is a time for introspection. And the Aries in this case is pointing at what kind of introspection. So we're invited to go inwards and rethink Aries. Where is Aries in your chart? What is your personal connection with Aries? And where are these big lessons that you've been having already? Because the North Node is in Aries, and Chiron has been in Aries for a while. So we're all collectively learning something about Aries and how to heal the Aries wounds. So the wounds in our individuality, the wounds in how we express anger, how we step into a leadership role. Can we be leaders? How we take charge of our lives, how we get in touch with courage as well. I think courage is a big one, because Mars is the ruler of Aries. So it's really about stepping into courage, and the courage of being ourselves unapologetically. So there's a lot of that we're invited to rethink now, and to potentially set some intentions here, lightly, because it is an eclipse, so perhaps not a full-on ritual for controlling this energy and setting a specific intention, but intentions for letting go of some of those wounds. Think about that Chiron connected to the solar eclipse so powerfully. So letting go of some of the obstacles that are preventing us to express a healthier version of Aries energy in our lives. All right. Now, there are a couple of more placements that I really want to mention, but before that, let's have a look at the Sabin symbol. I've taken a little longer this time to share with you. And for the 19th degree of Aries, The Sabian symbol is a young person feeding birds in winter. I think that's such a powerful image for this I keep saying lunar, for the solar cycles, the solar eclipse in Aries with Chiron. Chiron being so powerfully placed, and the sense of helping others. I mean, that's something that has a lot to do with the Chiron archetype. You know, being a helper, being a healer, being a highly sensitive and empath. You know, highly sensitive and empath people have a very prominent Chiron usually, and their path, their profession, or their sense of vocation is usually very much connected with helping. Now, the Sabian symbol of a young person feeding birds in winter brings the sense of helping, but the question is, how much can you help? And how much is up for another person to take responsibility for their situation as well? How much is the helping covering up what you actually need to do as an individual? And how much is a genuine, important help that you're offering? So it's really a good time to think about that. Think about how we help, how much we help. Are we being selfish and not helping anyone and just thinking about our own problems all the time and being self-absorbed? Or are we going the other way and, like I said, just hiding behind this overly helpful nature, so we don't need to think about our own shortcomings and our own problems and our own goals as well, right? I think Chiron in Aries there is telling us, hey, be sure of what you want. Be clear about what you want. Don't be ashamed of stating it and going for it as well. Healing that capacity to want something and to really go after as well. So personal responsibility, help, non-judgment as well. And you know, helping others without judging, that's another one with, you know, the young person feeding birds in winter. But really, I think it's this measure that Chiron there. Are you helping yourself as well? How much are you helping yourself? And I think this image is particularly powerful here because, and here comes the other parts of the chart, because the ruler of this huge stellium in Aries is Mars, and Mars is in Pisces. So the sense of helping is coming not only from Chiron, but from the dispositor of all of that, being in Pisces. And Pisces is about selfless. Mars in Pisces is about selfless action and taking action to help others. But really, how much of that is to hide from what you or who you are, right? This is very, very important. So the Mars in Pisces there is really telling us to become very serious as well about our spiritual practices, about our charitable actions as well. Mars in Pisces is conjoined Saturn. So it's really taking Pisces very seriously as well. Healing the individual wounds with all of the Aries, but also not forgetting that we're part of something larger, that we're all interconnected. That's very, very important with the Pisces. And all of that, to mention another configuration here, Jupiter and Uranus will be very close together already. Jupiter is in 19 Taurus and Uranus is at 21. So we're headed towards a Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. It's a big deal. It's the beginning of a cycle, and it can be a very positive cycle. So use this new moon solar eclipse to clear the decks, or this eclipse season, to clear the decks and to fine-tune with this energy and the potential that Uranus-Jupiter is bringing and reflecting, of manifesting something that we truly value and that can be very tangible as well, and can bring a lot of abundance in our lives. So use this reflective time of the eclipse to prepare yourself for this, prepare yourself to receive the abundance of that Jupiter-Uranus and to manifest that in your life as well. And that will be happening towards the end of April.
So that's it. I'm wishing you all a very empowering new moon solar eclipse, and I'll be speaking to you all soon. Bye bye.